Hello guys, and welcome to another arena video from us. I know I said I was going to be doing these more often, so sorry I've been slacking. I've been quite busy with everything going on, but I realized that if I was going to make this video, I had to do it like right now, because this is almost going to be an impossible video to do. As a lot of you know, standard rotation is about to come around, and that means we are losing both of the most recent Innistrad sets, Neon Dynasty, and Streets of New Capenna, which means that my favorite standard deck to play for the last couple years is going to go bye-bye. With that said, I am really happy that we had the extended standard, so I got to play this deck for a little bit longer than I probably should have got to play it. But yeah, the main meat of this deck is from Neon Dynasty, so when it rotates, this deck will not be viable. So I figured I needed to show off this deck, give it a little bit of love, and let you guys enjoy it. So this deck is actually based off of a budget brew that Saffron Olive did like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, but it's built around Brilliant Restoration. This is for 3 white, what a casting cost, sorcery that says return all artifact and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. So the main thing we're doing here is we're just going to put a lot of enchantments into our graveyard on purpose, get to the late game, cast this sucker, and our opponent hopefully just doesn't have an answer, and we get the win. So the main way we're going to pull this off is with the channel creatures that are enchantments from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. So we have Colossal Sky Turtle, which is a 7-mana 6/5 with Flying and Ward 2. It has 2 channel options. We can either pay 2 and a green and discard it to return a card from our graveyard to our hand, or we can pay 1 and a blue and discard it to return a creature to its owner's hand. We also have Mirror Shell Crab, which is the channel ability is we counter spell or ability unless its controller pays 3. And then we also have Greater Tanuki, which is a 6/5 trampler that when we channel it, we get to find a basic to put onto the battlefield tapped. We also are running a single copy of Shigeki. You probably should run more if you were to fully optimize this build, but I didn't want to spend the wild card. And you can do a loop with that with the Sky Turtle, which is kind of funny, but it's a pain. It takes a lot of mana, which there's hopefully better things you can be doing. And then the last enchantment creatures we have in the deck are a playset of Spirited Companions, mostly just because it's a good boy. I love this guy, but it's going to be a blocker in the early game. Maybe we can get a couple chips of damage, but it is also a 1/1 that's going to draw us a card, and we will get to bring it back with the Brilliant Restoration. As for the rest of this deck, we have 3 copies of 3 Steps Ahead. This is one of those spree cards. We mostly have it in here for counter magic, but it also is going to create tokens of artifacts or creatures we control, which is sometimes relevant, but my favorite mode is actually the draw to discard. So setting up our hand as best as we can, and then when we discard a card, we can, chuck in a enchantment into there, which is going to help us build up towards a more impactful Brilliant Restoration. But it is mostly just for protection for counter magic. As far as removal, we have 2 copies of Get Lost and 2 copies of Fateful Absence. Originally, I had a playset of Fateful Absence. Get Lost is better. I just don't have the wild cards to get the other 2. I would probably say that, I don't know, it's maybe not completely better, but I would say Get Lost is better enough that if you were going to build this from scratch, you probably just do 4 copies of Get Lost and not worry about the Fateful Absence, but I could be wrong. And then we also have 2 copies of Topiary Stomper. The original one that Saffron Olive made, I think, had a playset, but as new sets have come out, new cards have come out, we've made tweaks to the decks, we're down to 2. It's a 4/4 Vigilance, which is pretty decent once we have 7 or more lands, but when it enters the battlefield, we're going to ramp, get a basic out of our deck to put onto the battlefield tapped, which is really good when, Brilliant Restoration is a whopping 7 mana. And we also have a couple board wipes. We have 2 Sunfalls. This is a sorcery. Exile all creatures, and we incubate X, where X is the number of creatures exiled this way. And then if we need board wipes that are more specific, we also have 2 copies of Farewell. Land base, nothing too weird, except we are running a total of, I don't know what this is, 13 basics, 5 plains, 4 islands, and 4 forests, which is probably more than you would typically see in standard. We have really good dual lands and stuff in standard right now, but because we have the Greater Tanuki and the Topiary Stompers, we want to make sure we have plenty of basics. As far as duels, nothing too crazy. We have a couple deserted beach, we have a couple overgrown farmlands, and then we also have a couple of the surveil lands. We also have a playset of the Spara's headquarter, which is actually kind of nice. Well, one, it's color fixing, but also because it has cycling, this deck does play a lot at instant speed. So if we end up with too many lands in hand, we don't have anything that we need to do on our opponent's turn, then we can, chuck this and replace it. And we also have 2 copies of Broker's Hideout. It's just a really bad fetch land, but it's giving us a little bit more flexibility in our fixing since we are running so many basics. This is a best of 1 deck, mostly because it falls apart instantly to any sort of graveyard hate, but also this deck tends to have really, really long games. So if you were going to play best of 3, that would take a very, very long time. But if you want to take that risk, you probably want more counter magic, you might want more flexible removal, you probably want some graveyard hate for the graveyard deck, stuff like that. That was what I would recommend for your sideboard. Now, would I recommend you build this, seeing how we're heading into rotation? Probably not, because I have tried. This deck is not really viable outside of standard, and even then saying it's viable in standard is a bit of a stretch, but it is a good time. But who knows, maybe someday more stuff will get introduced to this deck that it is at least playable in Explorer/Pioneer. We will see. But yeah, you can find a deck list in the description of this video, and like I said, because the matchups for this deck are kind of grindy, we are just going to go ahead and play until we get one really good game where we get to show off how the deck works and call it there. Otherwise, if I play 3 or 5 matches, what I would typically do for these videos, this video is going to be like 3 hours long, and no one wants that. But I hope you enjoy this. I have thoroughly enjoyed this deck for the last couple of years. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it. Okay, so we are on the draw. This isn't a great hand, but we do have the Brilliant Restoration. I really hate mulliganing with this deck. I guess we'll keep. All right. Spara's headquarter, pass. It is nice that we do have a couple of our interaction pieces in hand that synergize with our combo. Ooh, except it's probably not going to matter. Okay, Sunfall, that'll be helpful, assuming we live long enough. Pass. Okay, that is not a human. We're trying to avoid the beats. We're just gonna go ahead and bounce the Vanguard now. Okay, I guess we'll play this forest just so we have the mana. I would have liked to have fetched, but we're gonna play the forest so we have untapped mana so we can leave up the crab. All right, the Vanguard's back. I guess that's fine. I figured they would play something scarier if they had it. Oh yeah, like that. Yeah, that's gotta. We're not dealing that. We're gonna go ahead and counter that sucker right now. Yeah, boy. All right, now we will go ahead and fetch. Let's grab a plains. So because Brilliant Restoration is so white intensive with those fetch lands and stuff, you are almost always going to need to grab a plains. But most of our duels are also, I think all of our duels actually also tap for white, so maybe that's not necessarily true. All right, this is getting ridiculous. I think we go ahead and just counter this, keep the bodies off the board. Oh no. Maybe the move was maybe we should have looted with the 3 steps ahead so we can guarantee we hit our next land. Well, that's a land, but it's not gonna let us Sunfall right now. Okay. Throw Shigeki into our graveyard. We're gonna pass. We can bounce one thing with our turtle, and then we can Sunfall hopefully next turn. Adeline. Ooh, that's a very scary card, but it'll get swept up in the Sunfall, so that's good. So as goofy as it sounds, I think we bounce the human token. We will pay the ward. We're going to 4. Yikes. Okay. Sunfall. Sweet. Plains, pass. So we don't have very many enchantments in our graveyard. We have, what, 4? Oh, that's not terrible. Interpret Adversary, okay. They're going to pay it once. Okay, that's scary. Deserted beach. Pass. We will transform this incubator guy when they go to combat. All right, Knight Errant of Eos, sure. All right, they're gonna get a recruitment officer and a Lunarch veteran. We're gonna go ahead and transform this guy. Go to our turn. Okay, we actually might have this. Brilliant Restoration. Return all of our enchantments. So we got 2/6/5 flyers, a 5/7 with the ward, and a 1/3. So we might be good. So we'll swing with our 5/5. All right, they take it. What's funny is that even if they board wipe somehow, well, unless it's like Farewell or Sunfall, but if they even like destroyed a bunch of our things, we have another Brilliant Restoration in hand. Brutal Cathar. Okay, that does get rid of a blocker. And they are going to pay the ward. Okay, lost a turtle. Alrighty, so we actually might not actually have this. Okay, so let's go ahead and activate Shigeki. It's also going to hopefully... Oh no, we're not putting any enchantments into our graveyard. I was hoping we could get fuel for our second Brilliant Restoration, but it looks like I was wrong. Okay, we can channel it to grab a card though. What do we want? Probably the 3 steps ahead. I think we can actually grab 2 cards though. Actually, let's just do 1. We'll grab the 3 steps ahead, and that should leave us with enough mana. Yeah, it leaves us with enough mana to use this if we need to. Okay, everyone's on defense. Pass the turn. Oh, this is actually close. I thought we might have this, but they got some beefy dudes real quick. All right, they got another Brutal Cathar, so we're going to go ahead and counter that. Oh, no. Except they got the... Can't counter it. Okay, here's a Lunarch veteran. Yeah, we're definitely not countering that. My God, what is happening here? All right, we're going to go ahead and do some looting. We got to find... The problem is all of our... Problem is all of our board wipes are exile, which means we will also lose our things if that's what we need to do. So maybe we just hope that they go to combat. Okay, they're not going to go to combat. I guess kicking off the Farewell means that we'll get our couple guys back that are under these Brutal Cathars. Our creatures do have ward, and they only have 1 mana up, so maybe that doesn't matter. All right, they're just going to get rid of that guy. You know what? We got to... They're empty-handed too, so they might actually just concede to this Farewell. All right. Farewell. Exile all creatures. And we have a Dartle. Pass the turn. And we got mana up for a counter, except, oh, yep, there they go. Bye. We can do one more. We can do one more. That was weak sauce. Okay, well, we have a board wipe, a counter spell, a channel creature, some lands. It's a slow hand, but we are going first. So tap land, go. They are also going to... Ooh. Are they playing the Doppelgang deck? That'd be funny. Okay. Island, pass. Opponent is going with the deserts. Wow. Just straight up deserts. Glimpse the Core. Wow, what a deck. Okay. We're going to play Plains and pass the turn. Counter something scary if we need to, or we can do some ramping with the raccoon. Or is it a dog? Map the frontier. Find 2 deserts. Man, I guess you can do that. I mean, I guess we'd rather counter something that's actually going to, finish them a game. Counter their doppelganger, or counter their... Oh, there's the one that makes the ox, right? So we'll go ahead and channel the dog. Find a basic. What do we want? We have a forest in hand. I guess we grab a plains? Might not matter. Okay. Another Greater Tanuki. Play this forest. And we'll pass the turn. Same plan. 3 steps ahead, or the Greater Tanuki. Spelunking. Well, that's kind of a bonkers magic card. Oh my God, we don't have double blue. Oh, we did an oopsie. Crap. Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and channel this to grab an island. I did not think about that. Whoops! Frickin' basics. Scuffing up my mana base. Alright, this is infinitely more scary now. Alright, map the frontier. Oh, because they can also... Yeah, they're entering untapped, which means that you actually have a lot of mana with these soul lands. Wow. Alright, what do we got going on here? Okay. Wonder what the red one's doing in there. Maybe they just want more crime lands? They're thinking about doing something bonkers. Is that a real Magic card? Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, map the frontier, sure. Alright, let's play Overgrown Farmland. We're definitely not casting the Brilliant Restoration, right? We only have the 2 Tanukis. Yeah, that's not quite worth it. The point of this was we wanted a more extravagant game than last time. They're gonna surveil. Put a forest into the graveyard. Map the frontier, sure. Ugh, this is crazy. These arid archways are insane with spelunking. Look at all that mana. This is insane. Simic be simicking, boy. I don't even know what you're doing. I guess you can have that. I don't care. I mean, we can just Sunfall it if we have to, right? It is an 11/11, my god. Glimpse the core. Find a basic forest to put on the battlefield tapped, except untapped because spelunking. This might be irresponsible, but we're gonna 3 steps ahead. Draw 2, discard a card. Ooh, okay. Let's ditch one of the Sunfalls. And then we can channel the Sky Turtle to get rid of the stupid token. Yeah, nice. Okay, play land. They have all the mana in the world. So I wonder if we just hardcast the crab. Because they can definitely pay the 3. I wanted to have a more epic turn with it, but I think we just, I guess we just have to go for it. Gosh, that's so much mana. What do they got there? 14? That's before any land drops. They're thinking hard. Do they have it? They do. All right. Oh, that's not going to be enough, is it? They made 9, did they? Oh, except that does mean that they'll have... I mean, they are going to have a lot of mana, so if they have any way to do it again... Okay. Got a 22/22. Is that all? Okay, so we, first of all, are going to Fateful Absence this guy. We're going to go to combat. Oh, are you going to try to stop me? Okay, you got your clue? Yep. Go ahead. And we're going to smack face. All right. This is so close. Spelunking. Well, we're not even going to try countering it. Just don't have the doppelgang. Just don't have it, and we're good. Okay, Crime Land. Yep, hit us for 1. Sure. Is that a real card? Search. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It's a big guy. Sure. Doesn't matter. We still win unless you find the doppelgang. Okay. We got there. Yeah, it was enough. Ooh, let's see what's in this Thunder Junctions pack, shall we? Be something cool. Kellen joins up. Yeah, that's not a very cool card. Well, guys, that is my Brilliant Restoration deck, originally built by Saffron Olive, but has been tweaked a lot over the last couple years. This has been such a fun deck to play. Had fun showing it off today. I'm glad I decided just to do those two games, because I ended up attempting like 6 games. So the main problem, as you could probably guess with this deck, is that it's slow. If any kind of aggro deck, like the Convoke deck specifically, is very good against us if we don't have a bunch of untapped lands of the right colors and our counter magic in hand, we will just lose to the Convoke deck. So what's sad is that when rotation happens, this deck is probably just completely dead. I am going to keep it in my arena collection though, just for fun, maybe pull it out on Explorer every now and then, even though it probably won't be able to compete really at all Probably could update the land base a little bit since it's going into that format. Maybe I can find some more efficient removal or whatnot. But really, I mean, it would take something crazy good in order for it to become viable in Explorer/Pioneer, but we will see. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry we haven't been making arena videos. I'll try getting around to those more often, but you know, wild cards and stuff. It's hard to keep up with that. We'll see you guys later. Bye.